Yeah, anyways, let's watch it.
Wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to make this video. The change in stance on monetization and microtransactions made by Battlestate Games a couple days ago left me, for the first time, feeling confused and, to be completely honest, quite concerned about this game. My biggest feeling was, why? Well, I wanted to find out, and the research that I did over the last few days led me down paths that confused me and scared me, filled me with optimism, and ultimately left me feeling somewhat jaded, like the veneer on a shining facade had been ripped away, leaving the rusted steel
Guys, at the same time, I'm gonna pause it a lot and talk to you guys. You guys can watch it yourselves too. I'll show you my stats a little bit later. I showed it like multiple times already. Don't waste your time watching this video. I mean, it does provide you some good information. It doesn't mean like it's bad. It was pretty good in my opinion. BSG 100% making money from cheaters. I don't know, bro. I haven't seen this video. Buy low. People need to forget about microtransaction. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, in my opinion, microtransaction is okay thing. Yeah, especially like at a package game like this.
Skeleton wiring and insulation laid bare to the elements. These monetization plans are, like all things Tarkov, divisive.
It seems like you guys don't want to watch it. Should I not watch it? There's like a lot of people who doesn't want to watch it. Like 90% of the people. What Will Smith said, it kind of sums up. Not exactly. TLDR, BSG makes millions and also spends millions and assumed Arena was a flop. Arena was a flop. Like we cannot deny that. Arena is not that good right now compared to how much they spend money and like all those like, you know, advertising they've done. And fine, watch. Let's watch it. All right.
If you see no issue with the development choices that Tarkov has made over the last few years or going into the future, I'm not setting out to change your mind of that. The data I've found, however, and the conclusions I've drawn from it leave me for the first time with a feeling that I actually get what is going on with this game. For that reason, while I will present this data I've collected to you first, I highly suggest that you watch through to the end in order to grasp not only what this information means, but why I'm presenting it to you at all.
Like, this video might be interesting for the guys who hasn't been like catching on what was happening, but like as a guy who I check like BSG and Tarkov every time, it wasn't like a surprise.
It's important to understand why any of this matters. Since the start of development in 2016, BSG held a firm stance against the monetization models of their contemporaries.
We know that free-to-play developers are constantly
inventing
new ways to trick people and make more money, and we personally do not want to spoil Escape from Tarkov with this.
Every action and state.
Like, I get it, but Nikita always says something and changes his mind all the time. I don't know, it's like a big deal. It's not like super big deal. Yeah, I want the lockpick feature. It will be more fun. Helldiver has MTX.
Statement by the company over the last year also pointed not only to the stability of their funding, but that they were actually closer than ever to being completely finished with Tarkov as a product, that they were fully funded and pushing towards a 1.0 release.
They said they're going to release a 1.0 full game this year, guys.
A reality supported, in no small part, by the removal of the most expensive limited edition of the game from the online store. To many of us, it felt like we were finally closing in on the finish line. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, in the middle of otherwise innocuous patch notes, Tarkov's first microtransactions, namely extra.
Like, I didn't really agree with this too, because, like, who was it? Nikita already kind of mentioned about this, like they're gonna remove the EOD. They did say that, and then at the same time they said they're gonna make a compensation like mods, compensation buying method, like the extra stash lines. Like it was already mentioned from a long time ago. It's just more dramatic because it looks like it if you don't know the whole history. But anyways,
extra stash lines regardless of game edition, ability to play offline co-op, and faster unlocks of cosmetic clothing. What changed? Here was this claim by the CEO of the company saying, in not so many words, that the game needed more funding. So, like, where did all the money go? How is BSG spending their money, and why? Well, that's what I wanted to find out. And after looking through their financials, the answer was, well, it's honestly easier explained if we just look at it together. Before we do, I need to lay some ground rules for what I'm presenting here. I'm going to be as objective and fact-based as possible. However, my takeaways from it will be subjective, and you may disagree with them. First off, BSG's financials are more than a little weird. Because Battlestate's development studios are operating in St. Petersburg, Russia, they are actually officially based out of what is, as far as I can tell, a WeWork shell office in London. What matters is, because this is a UK-based company, their financial records are completely publicly available.
It's a bit weird.
So I took a look at them. Right off the bat, for the financial year ending January 31st, 2023, Battlestate Games had a turnover, or total revenue, of 65,608,544 Great British pounds. That's 83,911,112 US dollars. There's a little overview statement at the top of the filing. BSG's primary source of revenue, Escape from Tarkov, added more than 900,000 new paid players in the 2022 year. 900,000.
900,000, and let's watch the let's quickly watch the Steam DB. 1.2 million 24-hour peak for Counter-Strike. So compared to that, this is really low number, right? It's just a new buying, like, whole for the period of report of financial report, they got 900k. But compared to that, like, all these games have like a lot more gains, right?
That means, on average, those 900,000 players were paying $93 US for their copy of Escape from Tarkov, meaning that there was a good mix of both Edge of Darkness and similar limited edition orders, as well as standard editions in there. You can take whatever you'd like away from that, but moving on, here's where it gets interesting. The cost of sales in 2022, as in how much Battlestate Games spent to distribute this product, was around $79.5 million US. That means that by January 31st, 2023, they had a gross profit and loss of £2.4 million, ending in, with operating costs, investments, expenses, and taxes subtracted, a total profit of $2,178,371 US. We can see that their cost of sales were just under their total revenue that year. If we look at 2021, they didn't even manage that. According to their profit and loss reports, BSG actually ended 2021 with a loss of $905,724 US. That year, they reported an $88.6 million US total revenue. You might be wondering, why am I talking about 2 years ago here? Well, this financial audit of BSG for the 2022 year was only reported on the 30th of October 2023, meaning that we likely won't be seeing anything of BSG's financials for 2023 until fall or winter of 2024. So what happened in 2023? Well, quite a few things, actually.
They spent a lot of money on this.
I may have gotten a bit in over my head in this next bit.
I gotta
the
say,
research that I did on the financials of games marketing was utterly eye-opening to me.
His editing skills are good. That's what I can say. The video is completely look cool. I like his editing.
Last year was a special one for the world of Tarkov. We saw the biggest marketing push probably ever by Battlestate Games for the new spin-off Escape from Tarkov Arena. Arena was meant to be a more fun-focused, fast-paced way for fans of EFT to get that juicy player versus player action they yearn for. It was also, and this is the point that you should be most focused on, it was also intended to be a beginner's jumping-off point to the Tarkov world.
Yeah, I was hoping that too.
To the game. Okay, so in order to market this thing, BSG went to some conventions last year. Some big conventions. As far as I know, BSG had never come to the US in an official capacity, and their presence at TwitchCon Las Vegas in 2023 was legitimately game-changing for the Tarkov community. I even highlighted its importance in a recent video. More fans than ever before got to meet each other, their favorite streamers, the devs. It was a dream community meetup, and not only that, they had this giant, slick booth, totally bringing people into the Tarkov world. People could play Arena early, there were extravagant tournaments between streamers and the devs. It was quite the production, and it was a ton of fun to watch from the sidelines. So how much did it cost? While the actual metrics of the exhibitor floor space at TwitchCon aren't public, we can extrapolate a bit from other conventions. BSG's TwitchCon booth stole the show. A massive custom 40x70 or 2800 square foot monstrosity. A booth at South by Southwest at half that size would cost around $7,200 a day. That would mean, and this is being lenient, the arena booth would cost for its size for 3 days around $43,500. At GDC in 2017, a 2,500 square foot booth cost $41,500 a day. Times 3 days, a booth that size would
Jesus.
cost $124,000. Well, yeah, let's
Money
just get
drain.
this straight. I'm not talking about the whole booth setup, all the bells and whistles. No, I mean the price of the literal space it takes up on the floor. We don't know if the people working at the booth, the construction, etc. was part of the budget or if that was all BSG's responsibility. We do know that this booth was a completely custom design done by the convention planning contractor, The Trade Group, on quite short notice, by the way. If we assume a $100 per square foot price point, which would not surprise me at all, at the minimum, we're talking in the $100,000 to $200,000 range for this design. Again, I'm talking the lowest possible end here from what I've seen in my research. Okay, that's the physical booth. Then we have the PCs, the internet wired to each of these PCs, dozens of them, the IT to get all that working, headsets, monitors, peripherals. Again, this might have all been taken care of by sponsors, but just putting it out there. The booth had cosplayers, tattoo artists, there were DJ shows, this whole massive on-stage presentation.
Kid DJ.
And again, we're just talking the physical booth. BSG picked up a bunch of major streamers and took them to Battlefield Vegas, a pretty famous company in town that lets you shoot military-grade weapons.
I didn't know about
on
this
range.
one.
This whole outing could have been around 10,000. And again, that's just an afterthought for the whole evening. And I mean that because $10,000 for an evening out with the boys is basically a drop in the bucket when you consider what BSG likely spent on this convention. Oh yeah, and then, actually getting the company and their assets there, shipping, handling, flights, accommodation, food, transportation. These guys came from Russia. So, just throw another, at minimum $10,000 to $20,000 on top of that. If we put this all together, looking at the low end, I can't see them having spent less than $200,000 to $300,000 on TwitchCon. And that would have been if everything went right, if everything that could have been free was. If we're being more realistic, aiming towards how expensive we know some of this stuff can be, well, we're creeping up on $500,000. Battlestate Games went to 4 conventions in 2023.
It is crazy if you think about
So
it. I didn't
you
think
might
it
be
that
thinking,
much
as I
whenever
definitely
it was happening.
This is just marketing. This is what companies do. And yes, that is 100% correct. Major gaming companies do this all and much, much more on marketing. With the company supposedly
SG
bringing
never
in
done
upwards
that.
of $80 million a year, who even cares? Well, that's the issue. When I saw this massive marketing push from BSG over the 2023 year, it actually filled me with confidence. Good for them, I was thinking, because I assumed that they could afford it. Let's break down some realities here. Tarkov controversies aside, probably raked in a similar amount of money in 2023 as it did in 2022, likely a bit more with all the marketing that they did. We also know that Escape from Tarkov Arena, a completely separate game, was developed by BSG likely over the last 1.5 to 2 years. That this standalone game was developed by a separate team of people, potentially many new hires and contractors, and that BSG underwent a massive marketing push for Arena during the 2023 year. We now know that in early 2024, BSG has introduced the idea of purchasable add-ons to Tarkov, never before mentioned, because, in the words of Nikita, the COO, the game has been running for 8 years without any additional cash flow. So here's my concern, and maybe you're picking up where I'm going with this. The fear is that BSG's funding for the completion of Escape from Tarkov, as well as the continued development for Arena, was secured only by the projected profits earned from Arena's sales, boosted by the marketing push over the 2023 year. And I'm concerned that Arena may not have sold as well as they had projected.
350 viewers, really? Okay, let me read the chat. And then, I am kind of sad about this too. I was expecting, as a guy who reaches on Tarkov, content, I was hoping Arena will bring in more new players, and then I'll be getting new players, because new players in Arena will eventually go to Tarkov, and then in Tarkov they want to start the game, and then they'll be like, oh no, I don't know how to play the game, and then they check out the scabbing and they check out my content. That was the whole idea of me dreaming, coping about the future. But what the fuck? Nobody's coming over from Arena. Nobody, not a single person. Okay, I'll read the chat. New players won't go to Tarkov. The 6 armor is Timmy and lost constantly. What's the point? I don't know. Pretty tragic. Why would you play Arena on EFT wipe? Yeah, also that. They thought PvP lovers will go to Arena and then start playing Tarkov, but it's not happening. Sugyun? They did it so incredibly long. I mean, I was dreaming and hoping that this might work. Would have guessed it. No one asked for it. You're right, actually. You're right. But it might be right because we already know the future. Arena should have stayed on a part of EFT. That would be maybe nice. Like if you go to Tarkov and then if you can like press like a DLC and then you can play arena. That might have been a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not really a marketing guy. Tarkov Arena has 150 viewers. No, bro. I came for arena. Oh, welcome, that guy. Welcome. I don't know why my message won't send. No, I don't think so. I see your message. If you wanted people to play your other game, they shouldn't have made 2 separate genres. I don't know. I thought it was like okayish idea, not like a phenomenal idea, but this is my first time playing Tarkov, only 650 hours, didn't buy EOD for Arena. Yeah, you don't have to buy Arena, but like, after Arena actually gets connected with Tarkov, it might go up. I'm pretty sure it will go up, but it's gonna be basic Tarkov players playing Arena for the benefits of playing Arena. Which they should have started like that. Or maybe we're not on the line. Maybe Ryoli Gaming made the video too quick. You know, if they like actually synchronize the Tarkov and Arena together, maybe a lot more players already played, you know. Animal Crossing has 650 viewers. Animal Crossing doesn't need viewers though. It's super famous game. It's 100 times famous than Tarkov. Arena was also so bad because of the things and the sound being absolutely trash. Yeah, I know, sound and the preset, everything was a mess. Toast banned? Toast was banned tons of like long time ago. He's just buying new account. That's how it was sold. And I feel like people just use main EFT category for a reason. Anyways, yeah, people do that too. I'm pretty sure. That this person was gaslighting. Walker, I think Summit knows. I mean, I'm not him. I have no clue, but like I think he knows. Don't worry about it. He's a big man. He doesn't care about some random cheater streamer. I don't know. Maybe he does, but like he wanted to give him a chance to talk about it. Okay, let's move on. Oh, let's go.
For whatever reason, maybe because of controversy, maybe because of poor communication by BSG, or maybe because of the game's design itself, people don't seem to be utterly enamored with Arena in the way that BSG was hoping, to put it lightly.
There's Summit right there. And our lovely Pestily and Veritas. I kind of made a video about it too. I mean, I didn't say like Arena's bad or anything, but you know, it's overall there's issue.
No matter how many fireworks you set off, no matter how many tournaments you plan, if people look up a game online and the first thing that they see is this game is disappointing, they might think twice about buying it. And if they staked the production funding of both games on the successful release of Arena after a large,
I still love the features,
multi-million-dollar marketing push, well, it's possible that Battlestate is currently in an over-leveraged position. They may have made a gamble and missed.
Maybe, but we still need to check a little bit more. I mean, it's too late maybe, but if they synchronize Tarkov and Arena a little bit, and then maybe something might work.
So here's where I want to take a pause. Like I said at the very beginning, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to make this video, and that's not because I fear backlash or hate or ridicule. It's because I actually really love this game, and I have a deep, indescribable respect for the pure artistic genius that went into creating what it is.
Actually,
yeah, the financial reality.
I definitely agree with that. Like, how much, like, you guys keep saying they're benefiting from cheaters. I get it, but like, with my heart, I don't think they're gonna try to taint their game with the fucking cheaters, because just look at how much time and how much effort they put in the game, you know? Like, I don't believe that with my heart. With my brain, I can understand that they're benefiting from cheats. I get it. I understand. But, yeah.
Of a piece of art that you really adore kind of kills the art of it in a way. Despite the cheeky sort of negative seeming title, the very last thing that I want to do is kill Tarkov. We don't know
the financial report that killed Tarkov. Yeah, right, bro.
Exactly what the cost of development at BSG is, where those tens of millions of dollars go, nor should we, to be fair. Something I realized as I was writing this video, the gaming community is hyper critical of Battlestate games. It's kind of sad, really. We all theoretically love this game, and yet we tear apart every single decision that they make. We look at every aspect of their development under a microscope. I'm not sure if other communities treat their favorite games devs that way, but to be honest, I really don't like the idea of being part of that. To very quickly touch on the cost though, think about this one metric. Tarkov is running 5,000 or more servers according to Nikita. For a minimum of $100 to $300 a month per server, that's anywhere from $6 to as high as $18 to $30 million a year alone. The main concern I had, remember, is that Tarkov's cost of sales went up drastically in 2023, and the sales themselves didn't compensate. We need to touch on those 900,000 new accounts purchased in 2022. I've never given much thought to the idea of cheaters rebuying accounts as a legitimate major source of Tarkov's
He talks about the cheaters now.
funding. Seeing that metric was the first time that I had to face it head on. If the concern is that cheaters are funding the game, something that, regardless of how things look, can never be officially proven, we know that anti-cheat is a constant concern of the legit player base, something that we all want to get better. But would not placing the spending power back in the hands of the dedicated, legitimate fanbase through microtransactions in whatever form potentially reduce—
It kind of sucks that he only mentions that small part. I think it's a pretty big part to talk about. I'll talk about it real quick. I think I already talked about it multiple times in the stream, but like cheaters funding Tarkov, I don't think it makes sense. Like, especially cheaters are using like the hacked accounts or the stolen credit card bought accounts or like some scam accounts, not like legitimate accounts. So BSG doesn't really get them much money from cheaters, as far as I can understand, okay?
reduce the power that these cheat providers hold in general over BSG, even if it means BSG going back on their word, which is the lesser of two evils. I'll let you decide, but I think the choice is obvious. At the end of the day, what matters most is that the core tone and vision of the game itself is upheld in one way or another. Its dark and foreboding atmosphere, its deep, brutally challenging and rewarding grind, those things make the game what it is. As long as that remains the case, we'll be okay. Because here's the thing, truly, and I do say this wholeheartedly, what's done is done. If we want the game to succeed, to exist, Nikita has done, I think, the best he can right now. Regardless of how BSG got to where it's currently at, he personally admitted that the game needs more funding. If that is an honest statement on his part, then what else can they do? The choice is fund the game or let it die.
I mean, it's not our choice. To be honest, like, if you're just a gamer, random gamer, I mean, if you love Tarkov so much, I guess you will fund by buying microtransactions or buying more accounts. I don't think anybody will do that though. I'm just saying, I don't know, I suddenly thought of it. Like, if you're just a random gamer who just plays Tarkov now, like loving, like, oh, Tarkov is my life. If it dies, people just move on, you know? It's not a super big deal. Like, it's sad for BSG, but that's the whole reality. Okay, I'll read the chat real quick. We almost watched the video almost at the end. Poses and cosmetics without affecting gameplay. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that. I can't save BSG. Yeah, nobody can. They can save themselves only. They just don't admit the gray zone is going to end this suffer. Maybe, I don't know. I checked gray zone. It looked cool, but like not super good level. Helldiver has MTX. I don't know about Helldivers. People who are spending $100 to $200 a month on cheat, they are more inclined to rebuy your account. That's you might be right on that, Dark Magic. But what I'm trying to say is like majority of cheaters, like not about like super closet cheaters, but like normal cheaters, they will buy another account from like stolen credit card account or like hacked account. If you do microtransactions, then players will actually fund the game instead of cheaters. We have to deal with the microtransactions, but not cheaters. From two evils, we take the smaller. Okay, I get that point. A lot of people will buy cosmetics. Yeah, definitely. They did talk about that you can buy Killa suit on. I mean, he didn't exactly say that, but Nikita did say you will get to buy the clothings that which you cannot use, like the ones But give me a sec. Like these ones with a buying price, like the ones. I think they will even let you wear these kind of shit. This is, you need to clap like 50 bosses or something. And you can buy that in early level. Hello, Nameless. Microtransactions are going fine as long as it's selling cosmetics. Yeah. Hard to fathom that $100 is having funding problems. But it eventually has a problem. It's been quite a long time. They spend those much money on Arena push, and then Arena didn't get that much money. I don't know. Maybe they did. We will have to see another financial report that will kill Tarkov. Maybe putting offline co-op behind the MTX is a sad move. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's actually a good point. But like, I love to buy scab clothes. I want to buy some scab clothes too. Cosmetics is fine, and also the stash lines they're gonna sell. I think those are okay-ish. Hunt Showdown has a microtransaction and all cosmetics, and some people argue some skins are OP because they're. I know there's like an issue on that too. Dark Magic, if the cosmetics are dark or something. Rust cosmetics, I don't know Rust that well. A major issue is the Tarkov server lag. Well, that's like a total loot issue. That's like the whole game issue now. Skins are good to test on Tarkov. Okay. Hello, G. Alright, let's watch the rest.
If they're really just being greedy, if they really just wanted more money, I think that they would have done this a long time ago. I'm certain that no matter what, the research that I did for this will lead me to never looking at Escape from Tarkov quite in the same way again. But to be honest, Tarkov kind of goes on this yearly hype cycle, from excitement, a huge build and expectations, to some catalyst bringing everyone down to disillusionment with the game, to slowly building that trust back up to a sort of plateau of, yeah, it's Tarkov. And then it happens all over again. For 8 years. 8 years ago, Tarkov was created by a couple people in a room as a browser-based shooter to help them get some extra funding for the massive single-player RPG they knew was out of their budget. And it's a genre-defining product rivaling and effectively defeating billion-dollar corporations at their own game. But BSG's still an indie studio. They're still making everything up as they go along. Nikita himself stated that seeing the outpouring of community support for the Tarkov world at conventions in 2023 convinced him that sticking with EFT into the foreseeable future and continuing to support it as long as possible was important to him. Perhaps the recent decisions around monetization are a way to assure that that can actually happen. At the end of the day, and I'm sure many people over the last better part of a decade, just want to see what a finished version of this game will look like. I'm sure that Nikita and the rest of the team would like that too. If getting to that point means that we wait a bit longer or that people buy a cosmetic add-on here or there, I guess that's just something I might have to learn to be okay with. Thanks for watching.
This is something you need to be okay with? I guess it's like a really big deal that they're adding MTX for a lot of people. Like for me, it's like, you know, I made a video about like the kid are making bank. I mean, it's just for the video. I don't really care if they add MTX. If I like it, I'm gonna buy it. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna buy it. If it's like damaging the game or something, I might stop playing the game. Like, I don't know if it's like a big deal about talking about this, but still, pretty good video. I cannot deny that part. Read the chat real quick. MTX for priority queuing. I might buy that actually. Browser game. It was a browser game before. Have my money. Oh, bro. Tarkov is a live service game. They have to sell something, otherwise the service won't be around for much longer. Yeah, I agree. Let me be a bush, damn it. What? Ghillie suit. Ghillie suit? I don't think they're gonna add those kind of things though. They'll be considered as pay to win. You guys still don't understand. EOD is already pay to win, in my opinion. You guys might disagree, but EOD is a pay to win. Better stash, higher reputation on traders. You get too much advantages over EOD. The issue is that they always made a big deal about not having MTX. Yeah, it's like politicians. What Doc is saying, and then all the game developers kind of do that. Like all the successful game developers, they start with the indie game company being like, oh, we're gonna be so gonna be nice to our gamers, we're gonna listen to our gamers and also not make MTX or RMT shit going on. And then if they grow up, they'll be like, you know what, we need more money at MTX. And especially like politicians like Joe Biden or Trump will be like, make great America great again. And then after they become president, and I don't care about it. No, he still cares, I guess. I don't know. Like it's like politicians or whatever the country. Everybody fucking does that. Like if you deny that part, like, I don't know what to say. Everybody does that, like, especially like famous people be like, oh, I'm such a sincere people, sincere person. And then when they become famous, they're like, oh, guys, start buying my bitcoins. I started Barry Bash, get Bitcoin right now. Check it out, buy it right now, and then boom, scam coin. You get to only buy elite metabolism. What? EOD is pay to win, but it's not always pay to win. The benefits eventually go away. But it's still pay to win. It's still pay to win. I get what you're saying, but it's still pay to win in my opinion. The comment, there was like an awesome comment which will solve every microtransaction issue in this game. And all the money issues that BSG has. And boom! Which one it is? Where did it go? It was this video we watched, the financial report that killed Tarkov. Very good video. But the best comment was this one. I think the addition of buyable buy now can for $6 would fix this. Why are comments so boom, mind blown? I want a dog, please. I want a dog too. Wait, can we have Welsie corgis? I doubt Rottweiler. Make it $5 and I'm buying it. I think that would fix most problem in the real world as well. I like the reply. Dog, please. I'm allergic to cats. I like E.